All right. Welcome, man. This is a little impromptu show here as we don't have much time left. I'm here with my guest, Ahmed Barakzai. He comes from a land called Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
Right? And today's topic, quickly, we're going to talk about the idea of being bordered by other countries that we don't specifically like. Would you like to talk about
God, that's you're jumping into a real controversial topic right off the bat, eh? Trying to get this streaming right away, eh?
I'm trying to get strikes on YouTube.
Yeah, strikes on YouTube. Trying to get me canceled. Don't got nothing going on for me right now.
Okay, you know what? Scratch that.
Okay.
We'll keep it simple. How are you today?
I'm doing good. You know, first time on the podcast. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
You know, you had, I believe the gentleman's name was Darren from
Scarberian Boxing.
Scarberian Boxing. Yeah, it was really informative. Yeah. Cool guy, you know. Hopefully, you know, maybe one day jump into his gym and see how it goes, you know.
I recommend everybody else here today to go by his gym and have a look.
Yeah, you know, get these old bones moving.
Right.
We're getting a little old, you know.
Right.
Working an office job. Get a little stale, so I think it's a good little excitement to get into.
Are you gonna watch Black Panther 2?
Honestly, yeah, you know, I'm a big Marvel fan.
Okay.
I just really want to see how they're gonna play it out, right? Because that I believe the gentleman's name was Chad.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, he unfortunately passed away. You know, rest in peace. Right. I want to see how they kind of tie that into the whole storyline. You know, I think he was a phenomenal actor. You know.
Right. Early impressions, everyone's saying it was really good.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So, I mean, you know what? Honestly, I'm the type of guy that wouldn't go to the movie theaters right off the bat just because it's going to be packed. You're going to hear those people screaming, oh, yeah, woo-woo. I remember, I think it was with you. We watched Thor Ragnarok.
We did watch Thor.
Yeah, you know, people were clapping and this. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, should I get up and clap too? Like, what's going on?
Actually, no, it wasn't Thor that they were clapping. We watched Spider-Man together.
Spider-Man, yeah.
They were clapping when Peter Parker, the old one, came out.
Yeah. Mind you, like, and I saw it all over TikTok, Instagram. So I was like, and memes, even the memes, you know, 3 memes where they're all pointing at each other. I'm like, man, I saw that coming. Like, I mean, mind you, it's funny because they'll clap for that, but when something amazing actually happens in real life, oh, well, that didn't happen to me, so.
You get the slow, quiet clap.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
But speaking of movies, I couldn't help it over here that you had a hilarious movie story. Are you comfortable?
Yeah. So, I love my wife very much, so I want to tell her that she's the love of my life. I'm looking at the camera.
Yeah, shout out to you, Ahmed's wife.
You know, love you lots. So yeah, back in the day, you know, it was a little being young, you know, being a little naive. You know, went out on a date, and I'm notorious for falling asleep. Anywhere dark, I'll knock out. Dark, quiet, doesn't matter how loud it is.
Right.
So watching this movie, honest to God, I think it was a scary movie. I think it was like Sinister or something.
Okay.
I fall asleep. I tell the girl to him, okay, don't buy my tickets, leave it alone. You know, like I'll do it myself. I'm notorious for falling asleep. She goes, no, it's my treat, this and that. You know, I'm gonna treat you out. I'm like, all right, cool, this is amazing. And I'm her ride there. So, anyways, we're watching the movie. Halfway into the movie, your boy goes, KO'd. You know that feeling when you fall asleep and you're like, you think you fell asleep for 5 minutes?
But it feels like an hour.
But it's been like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So, buddy, I guess the worker there wakes me up, shakes me. He's like, hey man, you gotta leave. We gotta clean for the next show. I'm like, well, who? Like, mind you, first of all, you wake up in your days. I'm like,
you're all.
What? Who are you? Why are you in my room?
You're all discombobulated.
Yeah, exactly. Turns out the girl left. Yeah. She went home, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like, and I'm texting her. I'm like, hey, where are you? She's like, oh, you were so peaceful. I didn't want to wake you up. And I'm looking at and like I'm puzzled because I'm like, were you just going to leave me there? This was like wake up in the morning and be like, Cineplex. And pick up this popcorn off the floor and eat it, you know? So she's like, I didn't want to wake you up. I didn't want to disturb you. You look so peaceful. I'm like, how's your ride home? So yeah, don't worry about it. I took an Uber home, this and that. And I think that was the last time I ever talked to her. Because I'm like, you can't trust someone while you're sleeping. You can't trust them when you're awake.
Right.
So yeah, no, it was...
okay.
It's interesting.
And you believe the movie was Sinister?
Sinister, yeah. I don't like scary movies.
Yeah?
I think scary movies in today's day and age, it's all jump scares. Man, you want to talk about a scary movie?
Speaking of jump scares, apparently I have a rep on social media for sending jump scare videos to people. Isn't that right?
It's true.
Yeah.
I think I have.
Two things Abby's known for on social media. It's, number one, math equation memes.
Oh, yeah.
All this. How many apples does this guy have?
Yeah.
Number two, jump scare.
And I actually have Abdi's Instagram right here. Let me see if he's very notorious for sending me jump scares, and like I'll be watching and I'll be like, oh, what did Abdi send me? And yeah, it's just this.
Jump scares. Yeah. Math equations, jump scares.
Yeah.
You know.
Solve this and then get scared right afterwards.
Okay, so this is what Abdi has sent me. This someone crawling from a basement.
Yeah.
Live today at 2:30. Yeah. So he's very notorious for sending stuff like this.
By the way, Camilla was in here earlier, and I sent it to her too, and she's like, "Yo, I hate you."
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like, "Yo, okay, just keep watching them." Listen, I do want to share. So I want to share a quick story too. When I first met you, I was like, "Yo, whatever." Who's this
Me?
guy? Yeah. I was like, "Yo, whatever." Just another guy here, right? And then I learned that you don't like call center scammers either.
So let me tell you the story behind that, okay?
Right.
Me and Abdi worked at the hospital together, and I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, man, like, what do I talk to this guy about? You know, like, this guy just sitting there in the front there, and I'm like, okay, like, cool. I guess I'm brand new, fresh, like maybe 2-3 weeks into the job. First time working with this guy, night shift, and he's like, hey man, can I show you something? I'm like, yeah. Like, who's this guy? Like, it's the first time we've ever talked. My man shows me a 30-minute, 40-minute CBC interview about scamming. And we clicked after that. We're like, yeah, like, well, I hate scammers. I think they're the biggest problems in Canada right now, scammers. Yeah. And let's talk about that. Yeah. Like, it's affected everybody.
Yeah.
You could be any walk of life. You could be rich. You could be poor. Yeah. You can have the opposite. What do you call it? Like attractions. Like, but we've all been affected by scammers. Yeah. Notoriously, duck cleaning. Duck cleaning will come to your house. Duck cleaning will call you every 10 minutes.
Yeah, but you have a legendary duck cleaning story. Yeah, I need you to share. I need you to share that story.
I'm a very petty guy. Let's just put it on the table, like, so everybody knows, okay? So, duck cleaning one time called me 4 times, like every hour, and I kid you not, I swear to God, it's the same guy. Sir, duck cleaning, blah blah blah. I'm like, man, I don't need it. I don't need it. This and that, blah blah. And they're like, no, like, okay, whatever. I'm like, take me off your list. But he calls me back an hour and a half later. So, anyways, one morning they called me 8 a.m. So I'm cheesed now. So I'm angry. This is my petty side coming out. I told him, sure, come over. I have a mansion. Bring 3 trucks. And the guy's like, what? I'm like, yeah, come, I need your services. He's like, okay, so what's your address? I legitimately give him my address. So I tell him, hey, like, let's schedule it for I think the Friday, because I knew it was off that day. So I knew I wanted to see these guys. So buddy comes with 2 big trucks, ready to go, this and that, knocks on my door. I don't pick up. I don't open the door. Guy calls me. Hello, sir. I'm here to do your ducks. I'm like, the same way you wasted my time, I wasted your time. Get off my property. And I told him, like, if you call me any other time, I'm sending you guys to Oshawa, to Ottawa. I'm giving you random location. You're going to end up in a gas station, confused and scratching your head. And I kid you not, after that day, never called me again.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, it serves him right, man.
Oh, yeah.
Harassing people and stuff all the time.
I was talking to a couple of people. I'm like, hey, how is this legal? Like, how are they calling me like 5 times a time? This isn't like considered harassment. Yeah. But now I have on iPhones, you have the setting where you can silence unknown callers. Yeah. So I've done that. So I'm happy. Never get a call again.
Yeah, you guys are fortunate with your iPhones.
But if someone calls me, goes to my voicemail, cool. Now they're texting me. Hey, I sent you money. Blah, blah. I'm like,
yeah, I got one of those this morning. It said, hold on. Let me read exactly what I just got. Literally, I woke up this morning to this text message. It was from area code 514. Interact alert. Service Canada has been granted a $400 reply A to deposit, C to cancel.
So I'll tell you mine. Mine is good morning, Kuya Ronaldo. C Regina and E transfer. It's in like Filipino.
Yeah, it's not even in English language.
Come on. If you're gonna scam me, Scam me, at least it's a language I can understand. You know? Or like, here's another one. Man, I have so much. So, your Interac e-transfer with Regina Joe sent you money. C.
Yeah.
You sent me money? I'm still at negative 50.
Yeah.
So where's this money coming from? No, but I don't. And now, I don't know if you've had this. Duck cleaning doesn't call me anymore. Random.
Duck cleaning calls me, honestly, after I told him, yo, can you guys like stop calling me? Because I don't live in a house, right? So I told him that. They're like, okay, sir. And then they didn't call for like a good 2 months. I'll give them that. And then a month later, I get a random call. And it's always a 416 area code.
Yeah. But you know who calls me and I have no clue? Like this, like you pick up and it's some Oriental lady talking. And it's some like elevator music in the background. And I have no clue what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Because like, I'm thinking they're targeting the Asian community for that.
Yeah. But here's the funny thing. They leave voicemails.
Right.
It'll ring.
Yeah, they do. You're right.
They'll leave voicemails. And I'm like looking at it. So I'm like, what? I'll tell you a story about a scammer once.
Sure.
So, buddy, scammers now, they're like brave. They have no filters anymore. Back then, it'd be, yes, sir, no, sir, kind of thing. One time I was like, I'm just going to casually talk to this guy. So I'm like, hey, man, like, what's going on? Da, da, da. I know he's a scammer right off the bat. The moment you tell me, hey, my name is something like Bob Edwards, I know you're not a Bob Edwards, but whatever, we're talking. He goes, sir, you have malware on your computer. I don't own a computer. So I'm like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, you got to do this. You got to do that. I'm like, okay, so like, what do I have to do? Like, what do I got to get you? He's like, oh, you got to go to a gas station or a 7-Eleven, pick up gift cards. So I'm like, okay, I'll go right ahead and do that. So I go to him, this and that. And he's on the phone with me the whole time. And I'm like, hey, man, sorry, I don't have a car. He said, can you walk there? I'm like, no, it takes me 20 minutes. He's like, okay, I'll stay on the phone with you 20 minutes. And I'm just giving him excuses. And the guy proceeds to cuss me out. Listen here, you little punk. Fuck you. guy hangs up on me. And I'm like, I called him back. I'm like, hey, man, I was done talking to you. Fuck you. And he hangs up. And I was like, God damn. Back in my day, scammers were nicer. What is this? Cussing your customers out, your clientele out, man. I don't know, man.
So apparently these type of calls, they have to go to, not the calls have to go to, but the people responsible for it, work in the government, like as far as like stopping it, right? And apparently Canada's been doing a pretty crappy job because people are still getting harassed, right, by foreign calls intended to scam us.
Yeah, I think, honest to God, and I don't mean to be the one conspiracy tinfoil hat kind of guys, but I think people's pockets are getting lined for that. Like, this is happening so often and so frequently.
Yeah, you could be right about
You don't think they have someone in their office kind of like doing this and that?
Yeah.
I was watching a documentary and they were saying like these guys, these scammers, the guys who run these businesses, they have jets, private jets.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I seen that. Yeah.
Some poor old lady just gave her retirements and her life savings away.
I seen that.
Just so this guy can fly a jet somewhere, Yeah. And it's crazy. Like they say, you guys can't get these guys. Like some of these guys are just flying in the air all day. Right. They're moving countries. They don't follow any laws.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I do agree with you because for me, it's like Canada. Like we as Canadians, we pay the most. Our cell phone bills are the highest compared to other countries. Like as far as our monthly plans. Oh, dude, we're getting ripped off compared to other nations.
Bare minimum, you're paying $80 for a decent plan.
You guys remember those American companies that were coming in here, Virgin Mobile and Sprint. They tried. Sorry.
Virgin Mobile,
Sprint, and someone else.
AT&T.
Yeah. They tried to come into Canada to spread, whatever their network, and they got stopped.
They got bullied out.
Rogers, TELUS, and them all bullied them and kicked them out. And the only way for that to happen is if I forget through the telecommunications person of the government of Canada has to take bribes for that.
Oh, 100%. Do you remember that whole outage that happened with Rogers? Mind you, I'm with Rogers. Yeah. My boy over here is with Rogers too. Yeah. When Rogers went out, like, it was insane because almost over half the nation uses Rogers. Yeah. And our emergency services uses Rogers. How crazy is that? Yeah. You couldn't call 911.
Yeah.
Then you have people like Abdi coming up to you in a dark alley and you can't call 911. You're in trouble. Scarborough people, coming into Toronto.
East End, buddy.
East End people. Right? East Enders, yeah. Scary people.
Thankfully, on that night, the Rogers outage, I have at home, I have Bell. So I was able to still connect and whatever do what they got to do.
I have everything Rogers.
You suckers are
Everything Rogers.
in the closet.
So funny enough, I had to tell my wife to get the day off of work because we had a lot of stuff to do. I had the whole wedding stuff to do.
Yeah.
So I told her, like, hey babe, can you not go to work today?
Yeah.
She's like, why? I'm like, I have no service. I can't GPS anywhere. I can't make any calls. Funny enough, she ended up she left work. And here's a kicker. A lot of these like debit tab machines are Rogers. So you're going to these places trying to buy something. Sorry, we only take cash. Why?
Yeah.
Oh, our thing is linked to Rogers.
That's true. Yeah.
Crazy.
So
but
even on that day when we're all digital, cash was still king. Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy that cash is being phased out? Well, no, cash is not being phased out, but on that day alone, we realized, cash still rules.
Oh yeah, man. Like my pops always told me, like, hey, carry a bit of cash with you. You never know. I mean, honest to God, like, this is just my theory because I've seen this happen a lot.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone to like these gas stations or these 7-Elevens and they're using like these like fake debit readers or debit card readers?
Yeah.
And then when you swipe your card, they take your information down.
Yeah, I heard cabbies are doing that. That's how they're scamming people.
So a lot of times what I like to do is I like to pay cash because you've seen me. I was and like, if you have cash, I'll be, hey, Abdi, give me cash. I'll e-transfer you.
Yeah.
It's just because of the situation. Like when I go to a gas station, I'm not familiar with the gas station because I'm a really nice guy. I like to talk this and that.
Yeah.
So my 7-Eleven people, I know them. I'm not, on good terms with them, this and that.
Yeah.
But if I go to and say somewhere outside of Toronto and I'm going to a gas station, I'll pay cash just because I don't trust your debit machine. Like you see these people like ripping it off. Like,
yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Think about it, right, Abdi? That purse, the cashier is on it. They have to be. Who's coming into your store, placing this thing on, and you're just sitting there watching them do it, right? So that's why I don't trust these people, right? I don't trust, using my debit card. So I love carrying cash.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. It's just.
I had something to say.
Sure.
But you guys ever had a friend that had their Instagram hacked or their Facebook hacked, so they have to make another account?
Yeah.
Because like someone got a hold of their credentials or whatever.
Yeah.
And like you just think to yourself like, what were you surfing? Because like, my Instagram has never got hacked. Like some guys never got a hold of my Instagram. I couldn't get in. My Facebook, nothing. Right? My Twitter, whatever. What were they surfing?
You know what?
Were they put their credentials in?
But you know what? Maybe nothing, because that happened to me on Facebook Messenger. So I had a family member or a close family member send me a link and be like, oh my God, guess who died? So I'm like, oh, it's a family member. It must be, like someone I know. So I click on the link and it brings me to some random guy's YouTube channel. And then guess what happens? Then all of a sudden, I'm sending to all my friends, hey, look, you're in this video. Yeah. And I'm like, shit. So I closed off my thing. And I was like, it's crazy. My wife, she ordered something on Amazon and she got this charger, this portable charging block. She got it for free. She's like, I didn't order this. So I'm like, hey babe, just check your bank account, check your Amazon orders. Nothing. So they gave it to her as a gift. But think about that. Someone has your name, your first and last name, and your billing address for them to be able to send this out to you.
Right.
So she was tripping out. She's like, maybe there's a camera, so I'm gonna give it to me. So I took it, I've been using it now, so nothing has happened. But it's just crazy to think like people have access to all your stuff. You remember when Facebook got hacked, right? Mm-hmm. All of a sudden a whole bunch of people's credentials got leaked out, right?
Right.
So it's unfortunate, but it's stuff like that need to happen for cybersecurity to kind of catch up with them. Right. So, because here's the thing, like you never know how good your system is until it kind of fails, right? Then you make improvements.
Yeah.
Right. So.
You know what's insane? Your wife suggested that there's a camera in that charging thing. That's actually a real thing. You can actually go on Amazon and order something that looks like an iPhone charger.
Yeah.
It has a little hole in front of it. You would never be able to tell. Because you ever walk in a room, you see all these chargers plugged in, you don't think anything.
Yeah, I know. It's just normal.
Cameras that are built in the charger.
That's insane.
That's recording you. And apparently, some scumbags, you guys are.
Hey, do you remember that?
Airbnb and shit.
Yeah.
That's how they do it. They plug a random charger in the wall.
And they're watching you. Yeah. Do you remember that whole thing that happened to it was like Hamilton Tim Hortons? Some guy had a camera in the washroom, right?
Yeah.
Like insane.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And this guy was I don't know, he must have been slow in the head because the way he did it, he literally just duct taped his phone onto the wall.
And nobody noticed.
When you sit down to shit or piss or whatever, you can see this thing, right? It's right on the wall. It's just some pervert that.
It's crazy.
What the heck?
Mind you, when I go to the washrooms, if I especially say if I go to a hotel, this and that, if I see a hole in the wall, I get sketched out. I literally put my thumb over it.
I always look.
You have to. You have to.
Whatever. I always look to see if like was there a hole in the wall or something weird.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I always look in the ducts for some reason. Like,
But yo, isn't that lawsuit worthy? Like, if someone was recording,
but who are you gonna catch? How are you gonna catch them? That's a problem. Because you're not gonna blame the hotel and be like, hey, like,
no, not the hotel. Like, because he mentioned Airbnbs. If let's say I go to a random city and I get an Airbnb instead of a hotel, and I'm sleeping there.
Yeah, I guess.
And then I find out, let's say down the road, yo, whoever was staying at this house, they were filming you. Mm-hmm. Or say I'm just walking on, I go, why is there a lens right there? Right? Mm-hmm. Like some people have caught.
But like, but who do you blame? Do you blame the homeowner, or do you blame because mind you, like Airbnbs, anyone could go in there, right? Like, do you check everybody that you had and listen past like say a year or whatever, right?
Wouldn't the like
it'd be? I guess it'd be responsibility of the homeowner,
because like say you stayed at my house and like and I set something up. And he'd be like, "Yo, what the heck is this?
Is that a possibility? Yeah, I need to know. So never come over to your place.
Like, somebody's got to get sued for that.
It's
a total invasion of privacy.
Oh, 100%, right?
You're having fun with your friends or whoever you're with, and somebody's watching you. Yeah. Like, what the heck?
I mean, okay, well, let's be honest. Like, we talk about invasion of privacy, but like, our phones record everything we say.
That is true,
right?
Yeah. Our phones are tracking us.
Like, have you ever been on like talking to one of your boys and blah blah? Later that day, you go on YouTube. You say you're talking about dog food. Guess what pops up in your ads? Yeah. Dog food.
That's happened to me too. Actually,
like, there's people, and I always laugh at this because I find it so hilarious. They'll be like duct taping their camera on their laptops. Oh, blah 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 blah. I'm like, if you have a phone, you no longer have privacy.
That's true. Yeah,
that's straight up. That's how I look at it.
Give up your right for
you privacy. Get like the moment like nobody reads those clauses. Like you see that long. I tried to do it when I signed up for Instagram the first time or Snapchat, one of the two. I tried to read that. It's like 32 pages long.
Yeah. You give
halfway down the first page, I was like, I'm over it.
Yeah, you give up everything. Right?
Yeah. You give up everything. Like your phone, it so boldly asks you, "Do you want us to send you ads, personalized ads?" And I'm like, how would you do that? I guess if I search something up, but no, they tap into your microphone. Right?
Yeah, that's true. So I had that happen to me one time. Short story, I was talking to a former coworker about using my benefits for dentistry work.
Oh, yeah.
Only for dentistry work to pop up on a Facebook ad. Half an hour later, I say, our phones are listening to us.
Oh, 100%. I don't even doubt it.
So I'm just thinking as Ahmed pours a cup of water into a nice glass there. And as he grabs that water and he hits the mic. And by the way, what I was mumbling while you were talking, right? All I was saying was, "Yo, Ahmed's out of his mind. He's just saying nonsense right now."
Yeah.
That's why you were talking to Darren, asking random questions. I'm like, Ahmed's question is, this and this and this.
Oh yeah. You see that?
Yeah. But yo, should we wrap up though?
Yeah, we got like
listen, this is good. Yeah, 46. I got 4 minutes. That doesn't mean he's gonna kick me out in 4 minutes, but. We'll
I really like the setup. I think it was a
you're welcome to come to any future ones as well.
Yeah, so and hopefully to
go from there.
Actually, before we leave, I wanted to talk about a whole bunch of controversial stuff, but we ended up deciding on scammers. So I think
okay, me and you will have one episode about scammers. We'll just talk about how pathetic these guys are.
So before we leave, that night we watched maybe 6 hours of scamming videos. Anywhere from like telephone scamming to scamming people at the food terminal, scamming movers. You name me and Abdi.
Scamming, the movie one was kind of funny.
Yeah, me and Abdi literally that day, we spent 6 hours watching scam stuff.
I should just watch
we united that day. We became friends. We became the scamming brothers, you know?
Look at this guy trying to scam me.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's funny, before we end off, I actually know someone, she's the smartest person I've ever met. Yeah. And she got scammed thinking that she had to go get gift cards to pay off her student debt.
Oh, yeah.
No. She was telling me that. She's like, after that day, she's like, when I found out it was a scam, she's like, I cried for like 6 hours straight.
Oh, no.
I thought it was a real guy. I was going Uber to Uber here and there, trying to get this card, that card. And then literally $6,000 out of her bank.
I got scammed too like that by a Nigerian guy.
Oh yeah. This is a funny story.
Yeah. So back in the day, one of my friends was like, "Hey man, like I know a person that does this and that. They'll send you like $300 every month." I'm like, a student. I'm like, yeah, why not? I'm like, what do they do? They'll put a sign on your door or your car door. And you just drive around and they give you $300. So this guy's telling me, "Hey man, here's $3,000 for the first year, this and that." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. Thank you, man." He's like, "All you got to do is once you deposit that check," because a lot of times when you deposit a check, you can actually take out some money out of it. So he's like, "Hey, deposit the check and then transfer this guy $500 to come out to put the sticker on your car. I'm like, cool. So I'm like, okay, cool, this and that. Mind you, I was smart enough to be like, let me let the check clear before I do that. So mind you, I deposit the check and everything. So I'm waiting. I'm getting a little bit like, I got $3,000 in the bank account. Yeah. So I'm spending money here and there. My bank calls me, Mr. Ahmed. Can I speak to Ahmed? I'm like, speaking. Yeah. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Oh, I'm calling from TD Bank. Your check bounced. My check. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe because the guy was in somewhere else, this and that. So I email the guy back. He's like, oh, okay, let me send you another one. I'm like, cool, I'm waiting. I'm like, let me give this guy a call. I give him a call. Doesn't pick up. Genius me. I'm like, let me just Google this guy. His office. Nothing comes up. And I was so close to getting scammed, sending some random guy $500. I'm mind you, I'm like, okay, this guy gave me $3,000. What's $500? So not knowing that the check could bounce. So yeah, that was very interesting.
Good. Well, we learn best when we get burnt. So I think all of us have stories about us getting like, not necessarily scammed like the way that you two were sharing, but just ways where we got duped.
Yeah. Right? Oh, before we end it off, by the way, after the whole fiasco with duct cleaning, my dad actually used them a year later.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, my dad actually used them a year later. These guys actually came and cleaned my ducts. So they're a legitimate business. So just letting you guys know if you're near ducts.
We are.
All right, guys, take care.